Good morning. It's Wednesday, and we are here with NE1 World Showcase, where I, your hostess, Laurie Calcaterra, get to hang out with some really awesome creators, writers, artists, you name it. We're all here in NE1 World together. And today is one of my favorite people, my good friend, NEM, who actually used to host this show. So you get the best of the both of the best, one of those things, strike that, reverse it. Both of us here today, and I feel like I don't know whose show it's going to be, my show, his show. We'll just kind of two friends talking, and we're going to nerd out and talk about what he's working on. I was really looking forward to catching up with Nem because I know he's been so busy. So let's bring him in and let's get started. Hello, Nem. Good morning.
Hey, what's going on?
You.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Look at
I'm
the
well
show. It's moved
caffeinated.
on. The show's moved on to bigger and better things. So
Yes, always on to bigger and better things for you, for me, for everybody, right?
yep, absolutely, absolutely. It's so cool to be on the show again and be able to talk to you again. I've been heads down and watching everything, and the show has been great. So
Oh, thank
congratulations on
you.
that.
Thank you. I know I have big shoes to fill, but it's like,
Oh, I don't know. My
sure.
feet aren't that big, so
I think they're bigger than mine, which is
Oh,
what it is. I was like, your shoes are kind of big, sir.
okay,
They don't fit my feet.
all right.
So how have you been besides, I like work wise? Have you been keeping busy?
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
yeah, where I've got a number of things going right now, working on any number of things. We just released OPSEC 3 on the New Year's Eve. OPSEC 3 came out, which I thought was really cool. So, I think that was just, I don't know why that struck me as so cool, but I thought that was awesome. And, we still have the long game out, and there's some cool stuff going on with that right now. And then it's been writing and working on other comic book projects, so of my own.
Nice.
So it's just one of those things where you got all these different things going on and you're trying to juggle them and keep everything going and doing all that. So
Yeah, I resemble that. um, so OPSEC 3 released New Year's Eve?
yep,
What a
yep,
release.
it dropped New Year's Eve. I was very excited. OPSEC 3 kind of takes us in a different direction in OPSEC, and that the first two we really got introduced to the team, and you kind of get an idea of this little bit of mystery. And at the end of OPSEC 2, they kind of figured out there's something else going on in this small town. And then OPSEC 3 introduces you get to see our villain,
Oh,
our guy, and he's going to be behind the scenes for several arcs. Knock on wood. I'm planning on him being in many issues beyond 3, 4. We're talking a while. He's going to be one of those recurring guys, and he is. I can share this. He's an ex-OPSEC agent. So
okay.
yeah, he's
That's dangerous.
yeah.
Hey, Wipa. Good morning, Al. How are you?
Hey, what's going on now?
Hey. I know. I was like the best of both worlds, all in one show. Anyone with both Nem and myself, right?
Yeah.
Just agree
So
with me, Al. It's fine. Let's
so
see. Did
yeah,
you send me the cover? Let me see here. That's OPSEC 2.
yeah. OPSEC 3. Oh, we went with a different color scheme, so it's blue.
It's the blue one. The one with
Yeah,
the oops, I'm pushing
lot.
all the buttons, people. I apologize. For real. I'll get there eventually.
No problem. But
I'm trying to get to the picture.
OPSEC 3 was a lot of fun because one of the things we did is that we started getting flashbacks on how we got to where we are. And so traditionally, the color scheme in OPSEC, we really went for the Mike Mignola type minimal colors, and it was blues and blacks and grays and things like that. But when we
Yeah.
go back in time, it's more of a warm colors. So it's like you could tell what time frame you're on based on the color scheme of the panels. So
Gotcha. All right. I think I'm good here. Let me share this screen. Oh, for Pete's sakes. Because I was like, we were talking about OPSEC. I wanted to show people the cool art and through the stuff, and I'm like, I did not bring it up. Let's see here. There we go.
Awesome.
This is different than your other ones.
Yes.
Here, there's an interior, but where's number 2? Long game. Here we go. So
Yeah.
this is what I'm used to seeing
Mhm.
as your cover. And yeah, we talked about this one last time we were together, and this one freaks me out with the toys.
Yeah.
No,
And
no, no, no. We're in nightmare fuel. And then when you sent me this, I was like, yeah, this is different.
yeah, and that
Um,
is that I can tell you that's actually a flashback in the back. So you're seeing something that happens in the past. And the
he
guy
hits
on
him
the
so hard, he knocks him in the back.
well, and the cool part is this is a legacy hero on the left,
Oh,
who was part of a brother team called the Three Lions for England, the Three Lions.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, so this is Mr. Molyneux, knocking the hell out of Simon Paget. That is our villain. So
Hi, Hugo.
hey, Hugo. So
Yeah, that's amazing that we finally get to meet the big bad because OPSEC, for people that aren't familiar, do you want to give them a quick like elevator pitch so they can catch up?
yeah, I mean, I think the best way I could describe OPSEC is it's X Files meets the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense. If you're familiar with Hellboy world with
Hellboy.
Mike Minogue, yeah. So it's a lot of paranormal um, type stuff. Also, if you've ever watched the sci-fi series from a while ago called Warehouse 13 with
Yeah.
artifacts and thing, that was an influence on me when in writing this series. But it's definitely got that X-Files feel because the central characters are part of a government team who is tasked with going out there investigating paranormal mysteries or superpowered mysteries. That's the key here, though, because we could also have
Mhm.
people with superpowers and resolving those problems because the government can't let these things just run wild.
Right.
However, just like the X Files, there may be secret movers in the background. So we
The
will see what
smoker?
happens. Yes,
You got
yeah.
a smoker?
See, there is
Well,
a smoker in issue 2. You first see the smoker, in issue 3 you see him some more. So yeah.
yes. Yes, and I just wanted to show off, like, this is super cool.
Well, this is not from OPSEC. This is from something else I'm working on. So
Oh, okay,
yeah.
sorry.
So
Too soon, Laurie.
yeah. Same with that. So I gave you the covers for OPSEC, and then I gave you some interior art. That's the Long Game. That's my novel. So
Right, right, The
yeah,
Long Game, which is also really cool. Detective, supernatural, and something really upsetting in the beginning, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the book starts off with a double murder of two women are found and they're dead in front of an abortion clinic. And what happened was one young woman shot another young woman who was going into the clinic, and then after she shot her, there was a riot and she was beaten to death. And they're sitting there laying, and the detectives show up at the murder scene, and it seems like a pretty straightforward case on its face, but as the investigation goes on, they start to have a series of nightmares. They
Mhm.
start to unravel a plot that is decades in the making, and there's a demonic influence behind all of it. So,
I only laugh because I know Nem, and I know, like, horror is kinda where he lives, so it's like, "It's a detective story, don't worry. We're gonna do detective things." No, we're not. Lies.
yeah. What one of the some of the feedback I've gotten on the Long Game, and one of the things that I really liked was that before every chapter, I put a quote, either from an actual person in our world, um, that kind of gives you a flavor of what the chapter is about.
Mhm.
And there is people as varied as Saint Francis of Assisi,
Okay.
or Karl Marx, I think is quoted in there once. Different people, but I also do quotes from the demon talking about humanity and stuff beforehand.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay. So there you go. That's your first clue that there is something else going on with this detective story.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
hilarious. Hi,
In fact,
Lou. Hugo, people with ulterior motives, a shady government? Why, I never. Um, yeah, that's kind
yeah,
of our reality, right? Yes, that's where we
yeah.
live.
The
Um,
very the very first quote in the book is actually a voice in the dark. talking to you. So
Oh,
the first
geez.
person that speaks to you in the book is
The demon.
yep. So
The demon who is nameless at this point.
yes, yep.
It's scary. A voice in
So
the dark? Is that how you just have it? Just voice
yep,
in the dark?
yep. So
Creepy.
uh, and yeah, it's one of those things where that first page I worked on forever, and
Yeah.
I like that. And that quote was me. My wife comes back every now and then and sees me talk to myself and just walks right back out. And so I was doing that. When I was writing that bit and figuring out exactly what I wanted, I was doing the voice in the dark, looking at my computer screen, doing the voice in the dark.
She was like, nope, nope,
Yeah.
can't handle it. Bye. By the way, good morning, Hades. Thank you for watching.
Hey, what's going on?
But I know other writers that way too. Chris Hayes, same thing. Like he was writing stuff and his wife was just like, "What is wrong with you?" Like talking out loud. She was just like, "No, no, no. I
Well,
don't tend to talk out loud." Ooh, it's a majestic mustache, Nem.
thank you, sir. I trying to keep up with my characters in OPSEC and keep up with your beard game if it's still going on. I haven't had a face to face with Hades in a while, so uh,
I think it got a trim because he was wearing his nemesis mask. He got a nemesis
oh,
mask.
so yeah. What really freaks my wife out is when I have like 3 or 4 characters talking and I'm doing the
That's
different voices.
okay. That's where
Yeah,
I was leading with this conversation is like, how often do you sit there and talk it out between
always,
characters? Always.
always. Always. I love dialogue. And if I don't if I can't hear it and speak it and make it sound like regular people talking, then I
Yeah.
can't do it. So,
I gotta
because
say I have done that, but I usually walk in the neighborhood, like I'll walk on the trails by myself or
mhm.
with my dog. So I'm hoping that no one is like coming the other direction as I'm like blah 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 blah. Oh, okay. Did you send them? Where'd you send them? Because I'll pull them up. As long as they're not on my Facebook, because that is too busy and people like to say all sorts of things in my messenger and they pop up on the screen and I don't want that. We learned that. We did that once and I was like, no, 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 never again. What is this the interior of?
Okay, so this is something that I've been working on for a while.
Oh,
Originally it was going to be much bigger, but we pared it down and we're doing the lettering is all done, the interior artwork is all done. We're working on some other stuff we want to put in the book, and then we're going to be crowdfunding it. And then this is going to be coming to NE1 World. Surprise, Paul. No, Paul already knows about it. But this is Blood World Phoenix Throne. So this is a science fiction series that I'm working on independent, and then I'm going to be bringing it to the NE1 World as well. And this is set in the far future, and there's a lot going on. But if I had to sum it up for in terms of people know, think Game of Thrones meets Dune, and
okay.
you probably have a good idea what's going on.
That's
So
awesome. Yes
yeah,
to all of that.
yes. So
And you're freaking blowing up the Kremlin in this picture. What? I was like, "Is
well,
that?" Yes, it is. By
actually, that's
Kremlin.
supposed to be Indian architecture, but I hope
Oh,
it was.
okay. I'm looking at the wrong I thought it was the Kremlin for sure.
You know what? That's fine too. If you want to do that. So, but
Ah, that's funny.
yeah, it takes place. This first one is called Phoenix Throne, and it's about the Ganymede monarchy. They're on the moon Ganymede outside of Jupiter, and yeah, it's all about a family trying to tear each other apart to get control of the monarchy, while outside influences are coming in there to try and have their own agenda. So lots
Ooh.
of underhandedness and high tech and fights and all sorts of stuff. So.
Yeah, check out these that's what I said too. I was like, "Look at these. Look at these colors." I was like, "That pops right off the page."
One of the pages I wanted to share with you, unfortunately, I didn't because I didn't have time to take the words off because the words would give away,
Oh.
the climax of the book. But at the end, it's like it's not all like this. The end is actually a PG-13 sex scene. So, I mean, that's
Gotcha.
kind of what's going on. So, but I didn't want to give away the reveal for the end of the book. So, I was like,
Oh my god. I have to hold on. I need to download these and send these to the computer so people can see these.
okay,
Because Hades sent me what's the name of the doll from OPSEC?
Maisie.
Yeah, it's a Maisie doll. I think we had talked about this too, how you had one made and
Yeah.
take it with you to
Well,
cleanse.
well, Paul was having one made, and I've seen pictures of her at cons and stuff. So,
Yeah, wait a
and
second here. All right, let me take this off the thing so I don't spoil
I want
anything for
I want one of those dolls, and I don't want one of those dolls because I know I'm going
I
to put
know.
it in my room and it's going to stare at me. So,
That's what we talked about, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, the history behind the doll.
yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of baggage that I'm working through when I wrote Maisie, but now people love Maisie. They really do, and I love Maisie. My kids love Maisie. It's like when I told my wife that Paul had a Maisie doll made, and I said, maybe we should think about sending some, ducats Paul's way and getting to Hades' way and getting a Maisie doll. She's like, oh yeah, we have to have a Maisie doll. So
Look at this.
yeah,
Oh my god. Like Raggedy Ann with teeth.
yeah. I can see her writing, was it Big James? So, you know,
Yeah. We'll get
she's
we'll
just be
get them
like
together.
with a cowboy hat. She's like, so,
Let's go, bear. Roar. And off they go. Be like,
yeah.
you should run. I'm running away from those dolls. No, thank you. Yeah, it's freaking cool. Look at it. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Although,
Uh,
if you know anything about this character, it's a possessed doll, right?
yeah, she
Oh
is,
my
but
gosh.
she's a sassy possessed doll, though.
Yeah, yeah, I would not want it's like you what's the Annabelle doll? It's like, yeah, you
Yeah,
want it, but you don't.
yeah.
Like,
It's
did that just move?
it's funny because uh she tries to keep it under wraps so that the only people who know she's alive are the team members and her friend, the person she is closest to, Barbara King, who is the one who you showed on OPSEC
Yeah,
2 controlling the toys and everything. And
yeah.
Barbara's cracked. I mean, she is a lunatic out there, and so Maisie is right there with her, and the two of them are doing everything. But like one of my favorite scenes is in OPSEC 1. They go to a pub, and Barbara wants Maisie to have orange juice at the pub while they're sitting around talking. And then we keep cutting back to Maisie, and it's like the orange juice is going down, but the doll's just sitting there doing nothing. So somebody is drinking the orange juice.
I love those little moments if you're like, "Look, what's going on here?" You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But if
Yeah.
you're just reading, like the first time you read through the comic, you might not even notice.
Yeah.
So that's like a good second read. Oh my gosh, look. That's awesome on a bearskin looking rug background.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
frozen. She's the elf on the shelf. You're like, "You behave or Maisie's gonna get you."
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And you just assumed it was hosting yes, of course. It is hosting some demon. Here's the cover again, everybody, from OPSEC 2.
Yeah.
And, this is Barb again.
Yeah. And you can see Maisie down there by her
Yeah,
knee.
she's
So
right here.
yeah.
But Barb can control these dolls, toys
she
that
has
are
a superpower where she can bring toys to life.
thank you.
So yeah, and I will say that the version of her that is in the comic is much tamer than what I originally wrote her as.
Really?
When I first pitched a bunch of different ideas to Paul and Laurie, I actually wrote an anthology of short stories for a bunch of characters. There's a ton of people out there that we could eventually meet. And her story was her getting quote unquote rescued from OPSEC from a insane asylum.
Okay.
And yeah, when she came into her power, she wasn't able to control it, and her toys wiped out 500 and something people in insane asylum. So
Oh, is
yeah,
that all? She just
plus
took out
plus
the insane did they just, like they go to rescue her and everybody's dead?
yeah, and then the SWAT team goes in and put it this way. I think it was Laurie who wrote "What the effing hell" when she read it, because like the toys come to life and there's like a toy Tyrannosaurus grabbing a SWAT guy and dragging him off the out of the room with the teeth in the mouth and stuff like that. So
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So think about, as crazy as Maisie is, think about someone who is unhinged. You could bring toys together and every evil sense that you can think of. So
We're here to rescue you.
yeah, yeah. So
Like she
uh
could have just walked out herself, I think.
but the two OPSEC agents who went to get her with the SWAT team are the two that are in this comic as well. So we kept that relationship, and I think we kept that origin story somewhere in the background. And I don't know, maybe we'll do that someday. But it's very dark. You know, Paul was like, if we're gonna do comics, we got to lighten it up a little bit. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. So,
Do you though?
no,
I mean,
well,
I mean,
we
if when there's kids and toys, maybe I don't know. It depends on who you're aiming for your audience.
well we want to suck you in with the light stuff, and then we're gonna give you the dark.
Yeah. I get you. All right. This is a great spot. We're going to pause for a second. I just want to remind everybody, if you got a story inside you like NEM does, don't let it out. No, just kidding. Make sure you submit your story. Bring it to NE1 World, where we are a big family and we love to have a good time and talk about writing and all that good stuff. Here's how you do that.
If you're an indie creator looking for a home for your comic book, graphic novel, short story collection, or novel, then you've come to the right place. NE1 World is a full-service publisher and distributor which can take your creator-owned project and showcase it to the world. We offer two primary distribution channels: digital distribution, where we'll sell your book in our digital bookstore; digital and print distribution, where we'll sell your book in our digital bookstore and distribute through physical bookstores across the UK, USA, and Canada. In addition to distribution, NE1 World can also work with you to publish your book. We'll publish your book digitally, helping you source artists, edit, format, and publish your book in digital format. Digital and print. We'll publish your book digitally and produce and distribute print copies of your work. Digital, print, and merch. We'll publish digital and print copies of your book and then work with you to design or distribute products and add-ons such as t-shirts, posters, and more. On top of all of this, we can offer additional paid services where required, specifically cover design, editing, and formatting. Unlike many traditional publishers, NE1 World gives indie creators maximum control and flexibility over publishing and distribution. So if you're looking to partner with us to distribute existing books or publish something new, read carefully through the information below and fill out a submission form.
As always, thank you, Mr. Morgan Quaid, for lending us your beautiful voice. I love that commercial.
Every time I see that ad, it just reinforces to me that I love comic book covers, as you
Yes.
cannot tell behind me. So
Right?
yeah.
I got a nice fake living room behind me because I'm in my kids' room. It's like I have a door behind me. I wish I could put like everybody has art and like a bookcase and shows off their stuff. I got a door right behind me, so I can't.
Well, if you couldn't tell what kind of writer I am, you could see that I would live at Elm Street. So
Elm Street, Points of Villainy. You got some good stuff back there.
Yeah.
Heck
So
yeah.
I even got OPSEC #2 right there.
There it is.
Right next to Sherlock Holmes. So
Perfect. It's where it belongs.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. This is the point of the show where we have a small dance break. Ready, go.
where's the party music?
There's a what?
Where's the party music going on? So like, we need the lights. So uh-oh. Oh, is this me? No. Hey everyone. So I don't know what happened, but I think that I am still broadcasting. So hey, it's me. It's them. I used to host the show. So while I'm waiting for Laurie to come back, I will talk for a second. So yeah, make sure that you go on over to NE1world.com and you can check out everything there. We got any number of books there. In fact, NE1 World now has ASAP minis as well. So you can check out ASAP minis over there on NE1world.com as well. And then while you're at it, head on over to ASAP Imagination and go to Our World and check out all of our titles over there for ASAP Imagination, Our World. Yeah, it got all sorts of stuff. I think we just had an announcement from Hades the other day for the Points of Villainy graphic novel. Is going to be available for a Kickstarter coming soon. I know that there's another new release that's coming out recently, and I'm not sure what it is. I know that OPSEC 3 is out. So, a little self-promotion there. So go check that out. So yeah, all sorts of stuff coming out on over there as well. So, and let me see what is going on. Not sure what is happening right now. I don't know if this is on my end or so. All right. Hopefully Laurie comes back soon. Otherwise, I'm just going to cover this for until everything runs out. So yeah, there it is. I may bail out here in a second. So all right. I'm just going to host everything. So I can't bring your comments up, but I can see them. Throw me your questions, folks. Give me your questions, and I will answer them while I'm waiting for Laurie. So I'm going to twiddle my mustache, as Hugo says, like an old-time villain. I'm not an old-time villain, sir. I am a new villain. So I revel in my new villainy. So I had to up my mustache game to try and keep up with the Hades beard game that was going on. Not only that, Hades had the temerity to just look absolutely stunning like that. So I had to do something, so, what are you going to do? Besides, if you're coming on to Drink and Draw with Laurie on Thursday nights, I've got to do something. I got to bring something to the show. I don't have the drawing ability. My pun game is nowhere near as strong as some of the people there in the chat. So I've got to bring the mustache and twirl it while I am yucking it up as we're doing the Drink and Draw. And make sure you go check out Drink and Draw on Thursday nights on the show. Look at all these plugs I'm getting. So Laurie says, I assume I have a damsel tied to some train track somewhere? Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. Several of them. So we actually live near the train tracks by the river. So I've got it all going on. I've got my black cowboy hat in the background. I just didn't put it on for the show because, I got to give a little bit of appearance of being somewhat normal. So somewhat normal. Laurie has lost internet at home. Oh man, that's what always happens. It's all right. I've got it covered. I can sit here and do this all day. So yes, a damsel tied to several train tracks or several damsels tied to the same train track. That's called speed bumps. Oh, can you say that? Now I'm in trouble. Look at that. So what else can I talk about? I think we've got more Shoot the Ish episodes coming up from Paul and George. I love those episodes.
Hey!
Hey! I was doing one long commercial.
I'm so sorry. All of a sudden, my everything just crashed, and I was like, "Oh my god!" It's like AT&T thing came up and said, "We're sorry, you've lost connection." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I ran downstairs and reset my router. That seemed to do it. So fun times, everybody. Fun times.
I thought you were giving me a check to see if I could still host the show. Like, and
you didn't know you were hosting today. Congrats. Surprise. Good Lord.
Hey, you know what? We got to keep life interesting. So
I guess so. Tech support chat with Laurie. So you just have to turn it off and turn it back on again. And sometimes that's how you fix things.
Don't kick it. Don't kick it. you know, or you can't.
It's
I don't
it was in the wall, so if I could have kicked it, I would have.
know.
I'm alive! Hooray! Okay, we're back.
Cool, cool, cool.
So I forgot what we were talking
You were
about. What were we
you
talking
were
about?
putting up the dance music there, so
Oh, thank you. Okay, I
yes.
gotta go back and get that website open again. We were gonna go show off your collection on NE1. Let's do that.
Cool.
Da da
Yes.
da da. We had a
Everybody
dance party and it like crashed everything.
everybody wanted me to twirl my mustache, so I was giving them a
Oh,
little.
did you? You were like,
Oh yes,
mercy.
yes. With my damsels on the train track.
Dastardly. All right, so we're not gonna play the music again in case it crashes the world again. I don't think that was it, but we'll just pretend it was. So you all remember our beautiful NE1 World website. It's just ne1world.com. And you can search by creator. That is my favorite. So it goes to here. You can scroll through all these beautiful, beautiful books. And if you scroll almost all the way to the bottom, you'll see this picture of Long Game. And that, of course, is Nem. This is Nem's real name.
Yes.
That's his Clark Kent name. We all know he's the Superman Nem.
Take off the glasses.
Yeah.
Look,
Look, it's super. Oh, it's just B.H. Howard.
Yeah.
Boring, boring. No, just kidding. So here is the whole collection. Ready? Here we are. Beautiful. Wow. And you can get physical and digital download, which
And
is awesome.
I always
So-
forget to mention that I've got a story and perspectives as well. And
Yeah.
the story and perspectives is actually a prequel to that science fiction comic book that you
Oh,
see.
really?
Yeah. So, Monsieur Howard, I see that comment. So,
Monsieur Howard.
yes,
That's his French name.
yes.
So yeah,
yeah.
so I love this because you can get the physical copy of the book. You can also just download and get it immediately and start reading if you're impatient like I am.
Yep.
And it's great. I usually get digital when I just want to like binge read. But then I always follow up and get the physical so I can have that experience where you go look for the Easter eggs and you see things like the orange juice going down and the little things that are behind the words. You know what I mean?
I'm one of those weirdos that likes the smell of the paper and stuff.
I do too. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I always say that where you get it, turn the pages, feel the story, and you smell it. Like, yeah. And everybody looks at me like I'm crazy, but it's the smell of it. It's part of it, right?
I love going into bookstores. It's like there's so few
Yeah.
left, but I love going in there. I'm just like,
Yeah,
But
I
that's-
wish you could bottle that. I'm thinking
That's what
maybe
makes us writers, right? So-
Yeah. Yeah. Just the tactile feel and like the experience, enjoying books. It's part of it. So what
Yeah.
I don't know. Which one smells better? New
Ooh.
prints or used books?
Used books have a certain different smell, and I gotta say, I think
Yeah.
it's probably used books. It's got that library smell to it, sort of. you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's it depends on where it is. It'll smell different. Each one has its own unique. If it's been in storage or
Yeah.
on the shelf, someone's been reading it and they have a dog. Just kidding. It's different. Depends
to
on
say-
who used it, whether they spilled coffee on it.
Yeah. I have to say with comics though, the other thing I like, especially since don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with like the old newsprint for comics, and Alterna Comics does it really well. Sorry to shout out somebody who's not ASAP, but when you look at the new comics with the glossy on them,
Mhm.
when you have a physical copy, oh, it's so beautiful. It's like,
Yeah. People forget that we spend time picking out how glossy the paper is. What is the weight of the paper? What is the cover going to look like? And sometimes we spend a lot of time on that. And that's because we care about how it looks when you consume it, when you read it, when you touch it and smell it. So we do that on purpose. It's part of the experience.
yeah.
So,
Plus,
I mean,
like when you put up the interiors for the Blood World there, it's like those colors on glossy paper with the right, just gonna pop, so yeah, very cool stuff.
Tell me some more about these projects that are coming up, because that's, anyone, and we everybody knows they can and should go purchase them there.
Mhm.
But what are you working on that's coming out next? So the World and um the new sci-fi that you talked about. So which one is coming first?
Well, first it's going to be Blood World. So,
Okay.
Blood World Phoenix Throne #1 will be dropping when it drops. So, I was hoping it's going to be this month, but I have to say that I have so much respect for you and Hades and all the people out there that are creating their own books, because it takes a long time and there's a lot to it. And it's
Yeah.
like at first I was like push, 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 and then now I'm kind of like it's going to happen when it happens. So it's like I no matter how much I stress about it, it's not going to go any faster. Um,
Right.
so I
I'm still learning that,
yeah,
or let's say I still struggle with that, because I get to the end, and that's kind of where I am now. I'm in that spot where things are wrapping up, and I'm like, why aren't we done yet? But
yes,
again, like you said, it's like it still has to go through edit, it has to go through formatting, it has to go to the printer. Like, it'll get done when it gets done, and same thing. Like, I struggle. Like, I just need to accept that it'll get here when it gets here.
yeah, it's hard, and it's like, and then I think about Laurie and Paul, and they're doing this for multiple books
Multiple
on
books.
a release schedule, and I'm just like,
I don't
oh
know
boy,
how.
yeah. So, tip of the hat to them.
Yes,
Um,
get your copy of Long Game. I have so many books on my list, majority of them in NE1 that I just wanna get and read.
I
Ugh.
I even sign copies of Long Game and send them out if you're interested. So I would do that. So, um, but
Ooh, you hear that, Paul? You're gonna get a signed copy.
yeah.
Mhm. All you gotta do is ask.
Um, but besides that, I am working right now. I just saw a new short story submission for anthology I'm going to work on with. Well, I'm going to mention Critical Blast is doing something for Fables, so I'm going to write a
Cool.
short story for them and send it in. Um, I am writing 2 anthologies at the moment. One is a horror anthology, pure horror stories, and it is called "Things That Go Bump in the Night," a story of tales of terror and something suspense for children of all ages. So yes, yeah, I got some good ones in there. Some ones that are pretty scary, some ones that are kind of funny, some ones that are sad. One of the stories is about a ghost who is trying to communicate with the people in the house
Mm.
and keeps on every time the people leave. Well, I don't want to name it. I don't want to give away the ending. So yeah, it's really sad though.
No spoilers.
Yes.
No
So
spoilers on Laurie's show, please.
yeah, I'm working on that, and then I'm also working on an anthology of stories all set in my Blood World universe. So it's all going to be
Cool.
science fiction stories, but set in that universe. We've got 3 more Blood World books coming up. One is written by me, and 2 are written by other people.
My
So
gosh.
we are working on those. And once again, it's like it takes a long time to get them going, but we are finally going. It's just a matter of timing and money and all
Yeah.
the things that you don't want to think about that you have to think about when you're doing all that. So that's going on. And on top of all that, if that's not enough, I am writing the next novel in the series, so the sequel to the Long Game. So I
Oh
am
my
writing that as
gosh.
well. So
You were talking about how Laurie and Hades have all this stuff, and then you just named off like 15 things that you're working on. So
yeah,
I think this is like an NE1 world thing, because like George is doing the same thing. Morgan has so many projects I can't even remember. So y'all just like to stay busy. But
yeah.
I just love the mentality, the family behind anyone. I think we're all of the same mind, where it's just the creativity. It's just amazing. And if people want to come along for the ride, we're here. We're gonna make good content, stuff that you've never
Mm.
seen before, and it'll all come out eventually. We're working on it.
I think all of us writers are a little bit schizophrenic too. So it's like, depending on what my mood is, it's like, am I in a mood to kill some people today? Well, I'm going to write the horror stuff. Am I in a mood to get at some deep plot? Well, I'll write Long Game, or Long Game sequel, so which,
Always like, I can't kill my kids, so I'm gonna go write
Yeah.
death and destruction to kids in my book. I'll be right back.
And I have announced that the next book in the long game, in that series, the Michael Domenicali series, is called
Yes.
A Time for Wrath. So
Time for wrath. You heard it here, people. I'm so excited.
so
Oh,
uh
it's good.
and we're going back to my this time it takes place back at my alma mater. So same character, but
Oh.
we're going to West Point. So murder up there. So
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, we
yeah,
talked about this too, and how you have maps and like you're talking about places that are
yeah.
real on campus.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
That place has got a lot of history, and it's depending on who you talk to, there's a lot of places, depending on what you believe, that are supposedly haunted there because there's so much has gone on. So
I mean,
yeah.
how old is West Point?
It's been a fort since, compared to England, not that old, but it's been a
Oh
fort
yeah.
since the 1740s.
So
So
yeah, it's not like it's been around since the 1980s, people. It's been
yeah,
around. I'm
yeah.
sure there's plenty of people that have moved, transitioned.
Plus, plus it just looks spooky. I mean, it's sitting right there on the river with the steam coming off of it, and it's built to look like a Gothic castle. So it's all gray stone and battlements,
Ooh,
and yeah. So yeah.
Batman lives there. No, just kidding.
it, it's a cool place to visit. It's an all right place to go to school.
I was like, is it? Yes. School? No. Do they give tours? I'm just curious.
They do. They do. It's since 9/11, it was very much scaled back. I think you got to get somebody in the know to let you in, but I think that's been relaxed in recent years though too.
Okay.
So yeah.
What is this, Hugo? With the mustache like NEMs, it might all be true crime story passed off as fiction.
Don't tell. Don't tell. So
You'll just have to read to find out.
yes, exactly. Or go down into the steam tunnels underneath West Point and see for yourself. So
I'm not doing it. Mm-mm. I've
yes,
read enough stories, Nem,
yes.
to know
There,
that's not where you go. Go
and
to
that
the
is one
steam
of
tunnel.
those true little things. There are miles of steam tunnels crisscrossing underneath West Point. So
No, thank you. What's that guy on TikTok where it's like Latinos against spooky shit?
yeah.
He's like, no. Take your chancla and leave. And
Yeah.
that's what our show is today. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Gosh, Nam, we're gonna have to have you back on. I didn't even get to ask you any questions.
No, that's
I'm
fine.
glad that we had a chance to go through and show off all your stuff, but it's like I had questions about writing and horror and all sorts of stuff lined up, and
I am more than happy to come back anytime. It is always fun to visit with you and do this show. And I know that you may be appearing on a certain show that I'm hosting fairly soon. So
dun, dun,
yeah,
dun.
yes. So because I know you've got all sorts of stuff going on with Path of the Tail
Yeah.
Rider. So yeah.
I do. It's well, yeah, we're wrapping up for and gearing up for that trade paperback. So
In fact, I may have to do a special guest host of NE1 role sometime, so you can talk about Path of the Pale Rider on
you're
this
gonna
show.
hey,
So,
that's a great idea. You can
yeah,
interview me on the show.
yes. So
That's funny. Yeah, we might have to do that.
yes, yep. So
Make sure you tell everybody your socials. So if they want to follow along, obviously, NE1 World Showcase has NEM's collection where you can go purchase all of the things and download all of the things. So make sure you do that. So fill us in
um,
where you can follow you.
it is real easy everywhere that you go: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Although I'm not on Facebook and Instagram that much as I am on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. But it is all the same at Nemesis FC2 at Nemesis FC2. So go check that out. There is a story behind that. If you don't know,
It's
then you
hockey
need to find out.
related, right?
Soccer.
Soccer. I'm sorry. I was
Exactly.
like, it's sport team related. It's not what you think, people.
Yeah. So go check that out. My author website is dwhoward.com, but I've been a bad website daddy, so it is like down at the moment. So I will get it back up eventually. So
I think websites are just kind of like the redheaded stepchild. They don't receive as much love.
no, no.
Mine doesn't.
I do write a horror story about killing a website though, so there's that.
Ooh. What don't you do? I mean, for Pete's sakes.
I don't do windows, so there's
Oh,
that. So,
there you go. I don't decorate cakes. Can't
all
do
right.
it. Have tried. Fail miserably every time.
Meanwhile, my wife and daughter do that. I do have to give a shout out. My daughter is in culinary and started cooking today for in the restaurant. So we are getting all sorts of, I mean, spoiled with all sorts of wonderful food. So
Oh, that's the best.
yes,
Congratulations to her. Is she getting up
thank
at
you.
like 4 a.m. or something stupid?
Pretty early. Yep.
Ooh.
So, yeah. But yeah, we she made braised wine pork shoulder with polenta and something else the other day. I was like, so yeah, good
Yes,
stuff.
please. Yeah. I love kids in culinary school because they come up with new stuff that we've never
Yeah.
had before, right? It's like the
Hmm.
India of food. Give me something
Absolutely.
new.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Good
So
stuff. Well, thanks everybody for your patience again. Thanks to everybody in the chat. We had a great old time, and then we'll definitely be back because we have so much more to talk about. And that's your NE1 World Showcase, and we will catch you all next week with another indie creator who is just the crack. I like using that word. Sorry, Hades. Bye, everybody.